Hey Tristan, I'm Charles.
Hello, Tristan. I'm Christopher Priest.
Hi Tristan, this is Frank Cho.
Hello Tristan, my name is John Tings.
Hey Tristan, I'm Ron Mars.
Hey Tristan, Tim Jacobus, I'm the Goosebumps illustrator.
Hey Tristan.
Hey Tristan, it's Josie.
Hey Tristan, this is Howard Mackey.
Hey Tristan, this is Ben Percy. Wish you could be here.
Hi Tristan, this is Doc Shaner.
Hey Tristan, I'm Kenny Porter.
Hey Tristan, it's Jamal Eichel.
Hey Tristan, sorry you couldn't be here. It's Ryan Benjamin.
Tristan, it's David Finch.
Hey Tristan, sorry you couldn't be here. You may not know my face, but I'm Tony Daniel.
Hey Tristan, it's Amy Chu.
Okay, hi Tristan, this is Andy Brandon here. You may know me from things like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hey Tristan, how you doing? Wish you were here. Show's not the same without you. By the way, this is Angel Medina, artist of Spider-Man, but doesn't matter who I am, it matters who you are.
Hello, Tristan. This is Arvell Jones, co-creator of the character Misty Knight.
Hey Tristan, Dan DiDio here.
Hi Tristan, this is Daryl Banks, co-creator of Green Lantern Kyle Raiders.
Hey Tristan, sorry you couldn't make it this year, but we hope to catch you next time. Bye.
Hello, Kristen. This is Keith Howard. Sorry you couldn't be here. I have created or co-created the Black Cat, and it's just for you. If only you had been here, you could have had this poster. Now, next time, maybe. Bye.
Hey Tristan, this is Mark Russell here. Tristan, I'm Mitch Garrett. I make nonsense like that.
Hey Tristan, it's Renee Winterstatter.
Hey Tristan, sorry couldn't make the show. Maybe next time.
Hi Tristan, Terry Kavanaugh here. I created Spider-Man, I edited Excalibur, I wrote X-Men and Iron Man, Avengers.
Hey Tristan, it's Tommy in here. Batman artist, Green Lantern.
Hey Tristan, this is Bill Lobes, and I'm the creator of Artemis.
Oh, they don't have like.
Where's Tristan?
Hi Tristan, my name's Agnes Garbusca.
Hey Tristan, this is Officer Nab, the Zombie King.
Hello Tristan, this is Bob Paul.
Hi Tristan.
Hi Tristan, wish
Hi,
you were
Tristan.
here. Motor City Comic Con, wish you were here. Hi Tristan.
Hi Tristan.
Hi Tristan. Hey Tristan, I hope you're doing really well. Hey Tristan.
Hi Tristan, it's Gail.
Tristan, hi, I'm Donnie Cates.
Hey Tristan, this is Tim Seeley.
Hi Tristan, it's George Perez.
Hi Tristan.
Hey Tristan, thanks so much for reading, and I hope you continue to enjoy the books.
Hey Tristan, where the hell are you?
Tristan, where are you?
Tristan, where are you?
Tristan, where are you?
Hi, this is Rex Morales.
Hi, I'm Paul Story.
Hi, my name's Jamie Tindall.
Hey guys, this is Joe Prado. I'm comic book artist Freddie Williams II.
Lee Palmiotti. And I'm Amanda Connor.
I'm Ralph Tedesco from Zenescope, and you're watching Nerdette's Newsstand.
And you are watching Nerdette Newsstand.
Nerdette's Newsstand.
Welcome to Nerdette's Newsstand.
You're listening to Nerdette's Newsstand.
Nerdette's Newsstand.
And you are watching Nerdette Newsstand.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Robert. How are you?
Not too bad. Good morning. I just always love that with Jimmy and Amanda just ending it on that one.
It's perfect.
That's the best one.
It's definitely perfect. Okay, so we have a lot to go over today. There is so actually it was kind of perfect timing with the insanity that I got in my email yesterday. And I was kind of thinking of how to frame this kind of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best way to kind of look at this at the end of the day is, has this done anything positive as far as growth in any industry, or has this done more harm to whether it's the industry or whether it's the people consuming the media?
I'd say there might have been a little good, a tiny bit as far as, but it was good that would have come about regardless, is what I'm saying. Like, by that, I mean it didn't sell. Some of the stuff didn't sell, or some of it didn't do well. And that was going to happen regardless of people promoting, saying it was woke or it was trash.
Well, that's the thing. And that's
Like, you know-
kind of where I look at things. There are instances where Backlash has done really, like, okay, I can think of one, and that's Sonic. That's always my go-to because I don't know.
Unfortunately, it's
another
also the go-to a lot of people use. It's like, can we get another Sonic one? Was like, that's the thing. People don't realize that was the exception because everyone involved except the executives hated it.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. That wasn't a backlash of this, like, anti-woke or woke ideology. That was a backlash of fans of the IP saying this looked like trash, or just, you know,
even the owners
people with
hated it.
eyes. People with eyes saw it and they were like, this is terrifying. What is going on right now? And that's
Exactly.
one instance I can think of when any backlash helped.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's separate that, right?
Yep.
When
definitely.
has, like, this is woke backlash help, or
This-
this is or this is racist help? Either side of the coin.
I'm trying again. Anything where that mine is the fact people trashed it because it was crap in general. I can't think of many.
I honestly, that's what I was trying to, like, mull through my mind this morning, trying to think of any time where we have seen some sort of change. Now we've seen sort of changes, right? Like,
Yeah.
what was it, like, Dead Rising? Didn't
Yeah.
they changed a little bit there?
A little bit.
I
but
wouldn't
nothing much.
necessarily say that was for the better. Like, it was just kind of there, right?
It was a minor change. It wasn't for
Exactly.
good or bad.
There
Well,
was, I think there was some transphobia taken out of what was it, GTA 5 or 4? I don't remember.
It's not like that, but that's again stuff that's like, hey, it was edgy back then, but nowadays,
Yeah, there's a
and
different
they're
sort
little
of
things,
edge.
and they're little things.
So has anything actually done any good after 5 years?
Again,
I mean, don't get me
No.
wrong, this started 5 years, way more than 5 years ago, but that's all we're talking about is the last.
yeah, because that's when we really dove in, because that's when it came after us.
Yes, exactly.
Because
So
up until that point, we were able to keep our heads down, and then the double whammy, the big thing of He-Man. He-Man, I still say was the peak.
the eye
of this-
opener.
Yeah, but it was also the peak of the anti-woke grift, because that's you had a whole year of hyping up, hating it, and then what happens? It's like no matter what, they move the goalposts, they lie, they start saying stuff like, "Oh, they were going to make her a lesbian." How do you know? Or
But
they
she wasn't.
changed they fixed it all in the second half. Impossible, because the second half was just them wrapping things up, not whole new episodes, whole clots in a few months.
By the power of Grayskull. Sorry,
Yep.
I read it and I
By
heard
the
it.
power of great.
And
we lost
honestly, it
that
was
at-
a really solid show, but when bias goes into it, of that, like you said, a year of hating it, no matter how good it was never going to be good enough.
and ironically enough, the first season of Arcane showed the opposite. It came the hell out of nowhere. There might have been a little bit of build up, but not much. Almost everyone's like, "Where the heck did this come from?" They loved it. Despite stuff in there they would consider woke.
Well,
And then
the
it's-
thing is still to this day, that is the most requested I have ever got to review a show. And I have no idea. I'm not a League of Legends person. I tried to be. I'm just not a point and click, you know.
Oh, yeah, Taylor brought another good point. People were all right with the other He-Man series that race swapped Tila.
Yeah, it made zero sense.
Like,
It made zero
what?
sense.
Like what? You complained about everything here. You complained about them race swapping a minor character who was in the comics and just introduced here, and yet you're perfectly fine with one of the main characters being race swapped.
Swap. Yeah, because that's the narrative thing, right?
Explain.
But what was I saying? I mentioned Arcane, right?
Yeah.
That show is extremely woke. It is about class warfare.
And people realized it with the second season.
Well, I think people realized it with the first season. It was just very, very out of nowhere. The love, the way they did it, for both seasons it was 3 episodes. Next week, 3 episodes. So the build up, right? People seen the first 3 and they were like, all right. And then word of mouth started to spread. And it had by far gotten too big to hate.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was one of those shows that came out of nowhere, especially for people like myself who know nothing about League of Legends, and it's legitimately my favorite show ever made.
There might have been some like at least acknowledgement of things.
Oh, I'm sure there was, especially in circles of people that knew who Jinx was. But until that show came out, I didn't know who it was.
Exactly, and it's also like, oh, there might have been, but there was never a case of, oh, we have insiders that told us that this is going to be crap, that this is woke, that they're going to ruin everything. None of that.
Well, the thing is at this point, anytime I hear the word insiders, I roll my eyes. Right?
I do. So do I. Like, prove it.
I have insiders at Ubisoft. I have insiders that worked on He-Man. I have insiders.
We'll get to that. We'll get to those insider things later. But we're starting from the beginning because
and I think that those came out around the same time, and I think He-Man would have done better had it not been for the other stuff. But Arcane blew it out of the water. Arcane was absolutely incredible with queer characters, with brown characters, with woke politics, with everything, and obviously the animation was incredible.
I just look back. It looked like 2021 was definitely the big year for shows and movies with stuff that people were declaring as woke. That was the big year, was 2021.
Also, I want to clarify this. Season 2 was expensive. It wasn't too expensive. They're already working on spinoffs. Right, it's not like it's done. Yeah. The show ended with a definite an end, right? But the show's going to take over. I forget the 3 locations. I know it's not taking place in Piltover.
Not sure,
but they are. I think the one area that they are going to be was where Mel was from, and I cannot remember the name of it, but I can't wait. I know it's not going to be the characters in Arcane,
right?
But the way they made me love those characters, I can see them doing the exact same thing. The animation was the best animation I've seen to this day, and I'm a big Arcane simp, but I don't care.
Yep, but that's in cartoon comics. The other thing is, though, we're talking about the reaction it had, not just how it was being popular.
Exactly.
No one trashed it at all.
No, actually, even like, I know, that podcast EFAP.
Yep.
Kind of where that term was made popular.
Yep.
I know even they kind of edged that line of like anti-wokers, right?
Yep.
And even they were praising it, right? Like it's nobody cared. It was that fucking good. And in season 2 is my favorite. I watched it 4 fucking times. I don't watch shows. I watched it 4 times.
Exactly. Then you also had, even the year before, when you had Stargirl. I'm still never going to forget
my God.
Versus Babyface trying to claim. I still remember that video where he was claiming how Midnight at Wildcat, where they were race swapped and gender bent. These were created for the show, and it's all woke. Jeff Johns has gone woke, and then it's like,
mind you, they were characters created in the 80s.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
It's like, 40 years ago.
40 years ago, these characters were just created for the show, though, guys. Totally.
Yeah, and I still remember how he just kept it quiet, and that didn't take off at all, thankfully. He lucked out on that one, but that's still, I'm just never going to forget that ridiculousness, how he was trying to start something, and it just whomp.
Yeah, and I mean, Stargirl was a fantastic show, too.
Yep.
It was awesome.
It was.
I do think there would have been more, like, diving into that CW side of things. I do think there was some horrible writing choices when it came to, like, Batwoman.
Oh, Batwoman. Batwoman, that falls under this, too, yeah.
Yeah, that one was
But to be fair though,
especially after Ruby Rose left, because Ruby Rose, oh my God, she's so gorgeous.
I'll say this: when it comes to anything that wasn't headed up with Jeff Johns, when it had Greg Berlanti or Mark Guggenheim behind everything, those were the problematic ones because they didn't care about really anything.
I feel like Mark was a little bit better, but maybe not. It's kind of,
Mark's the one who said maybe we should, instead of divorcing Mary Jane, we should R-word her.
Okay, yeah, so I take back anything I've ever said nice about Mark Guggenheim.
Eddie also was the one saying that, oh, people complaining about getting the marriage must love gay marriages. What?
See, that's the difference. When you go back to the Batwoman comics, they are
she is
fan-fucking-tastic. That J.H. Williams art,
like I said, she's a hero, a female hero who happens to be gay, not a gay superhero.
Right, but she was still, it was very clear. Her whole origin was about her queer identity.
I said that's what I'm saying, no. She just happens to be gay. When I say there's the two differences.
There definitely is. Yeah, I agree.
When they say they happen to be gay, that's just it. Like the gayness is not their driving identity. Where you say a gay hero, it is.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if they would have stayed closer to something like that, they would have done fine. But that was already so deep into the CW
agenda. Let's just say agenda. Let's just say that was agenda driven. Let's just say what it is.
Well, everything's agenda driven. That's kind of a misnomer, right? Everything's agenda driven. We have an agenda right now. We want to talk about the craziness that we saw unfold in the past 5 years.
Exactly. And again, I got a list. Some of these will just be brief on. Some of them will be pretty lengthy on. But like I said, you had Why the Last Man. Remember that?
Oh my God. Let me get this tip real quick, and then we'll talk about Why the Last Man, because I'm still upset about that.
Oh, yeah.
Tom, thank you so much. He said, just drop in to say, hey to you guys. I'm so fucking sick of the fucking culture war bullshit. I get it. I get it. Oh, Canada and Viva Mexico. Let's fucking go.
But like the reason why I'm saying there was an agenda specifically here with like Batwoman, it's more of a case of where they clearly wrote this with intent. This wasn't just simply bad writing. This was a case of they made choices that were clearly done for, I could only think of gender-driven reasons. Where in other cases about making money, this didn't feel like making money. This felt like, screw money. We want to put our message out there. I think that's the difference. There's a huge difference between trying to make money, even if it means catering to other people, and screw it, our message is more important. Do we agree to that? When people say agenda, that's what they mean.
I understand. Okay, let me use this as an example, because I think that depends person to person. Because even when it comes to my channel, I could treat it as a brand. I could do the whole culture war bullshit. I could do the drama shit. But I myself had said, screw money. True. I would rather have it be about community and about this kind of stuff. So you see what I'm saying? Like,
I get it. That's a good point. That is a very good point.
Yeah. And I feel like I don't want to be that judgmental person when I understand why some people just don't.
To be fair, I'm trying to come up with. Some people feel
like that is more important. That is their integral position, and I can't necessarily knock them for it.
To be fair, I'm just trying to come up with a definition for these things. To be
honest,
it's so hard.
It is hard. Cartoon and Comics says Why the Last Man was probably the worst product to make after the pandemic. It was absolutely incredible. Why the Last Man? I know you're saying you don't like it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Why the Last Man was a wonderful comic book. It was a wonderful universe.
I have the omnibus.
I absolutely loved that book. I was so excited when that show got made, and it did a very good job. Now they did deviate somewhat, right? But not to the degree where it a little bit towards the end, especially, which they had to a point. But the biggest problem to me is it ended on a cliffhanger. You see the car leaving. That's it. That's it. And it was such a good fucking book, and everyone looked at that book and was like, wait, that's Vaughn, isn't it? Right?
Yeah. Brian K. Vaughan.
Yeah. Looked at that book and went, or that show and went, oh, woke. They got rid of all the men. It's Brian K. Vaughan.
Remember how long?
Exactly. Not only that, but it's Brian K. Vaughan. He is
very
clearly a left-leaning, like Saga. Have you guys seen Saga?
Have you read Runaways?
Yeah. It's Brian K. Vaughan. Of course, it's going to dive into topics that might make you uncomfortable. That is the point.
Exactly. Okay. Another case of something that people were claiming woke, even though it was just, most people I've heard agree there was only one scene that was horribly bad. really horrible, but the rest wasn't bad, was Falcon and Winter Soldier. Except most people complained about one bit of the cop treating like, you do know who Sam Wilson is. He's a Falcon. Yet you're wanting to arrest him and acting like you don't know who he is. That was really bad writing, but otherwise most people enjoyed that show.
That bad. I thought the show was really good.
Oh, yeah.
It did dive into, I think what you're talking about is diving into the identity of Falcon being a black man and dealing with like cops and dealing with banks and corporations and that heavy kind of feeling on his chest when it comes to going into being Cap instead of being Falcon. But people don't like him as Cap anyways.
Agreed.
Which is a little bit hard. It is unfair. Not in the comics. I can understand in the comics, but people do age. People don't want to be in movies anymore. We can't expect Chris Evans to always be Cap.
Right.
It would
now,
be nice.
They were building up Bucky, though. That's the downside. They were teasing Bucky being taking over. And then they decided, nope, here you go, Sam.
Oh, really? I must have missed that.
Oh, there were moments like him actually grabbing the shield, moments with him with the shield and things like that. It definitely felt like they were building Bucky up right. And then once they gave it to Sam, they've been trying to figure out what to do with Bucky.
I feel like that show did it, and it's been years since I watched it, but that show kind of dived into Bucky a little bit too, and with him being like going through some shit after, what was it? The death of him being he killed Iron Man's parents. Yeah, and kind of dealing with that, and I feel like it did a decent job. I don't know what they've done with Bucky since then because I haven't seen him in anything.
I did let slip about Cap 4.
Well, yeah.
And he's in Thunderbolts.
Well, I think I did know he was going to be in Thunderbolts. I know that they've got they have a new trailer out for like weeks, and I haven't watched it.
It is good.
Is it good? It does look like it's going to be good, but it also looks to me like it's Suicide Squad
or Guardians
in Marvel Universe. Yeah, kind of a mix, but I'll give it a chance. I really like the lead actress,
from Black Widow.
Yeah, she was great.
Yep.
She's kind of snarky. I like it.
One other show before we move on to we'll jump back to the show, but one show I want to bring up before we go to the games and movies. Cowboy Bebop is a case of it wasn't so much woke so much as it was bad, but people just jumped on claiming wokeness made it bad when it's like, no, bad decisions made it bad.
So I tried to get through this, right? I like Cowboy Bebop. I tried to get through the show. I got through 3 solid episodes before I was bored to fucking tears.
Even some diehard anime, like one channel I watch, Anime America, she trashed the whole thing, saying out like, wait, what? No. And she's usually slightly left-leaning a little, but even she trashes like, this is garbage. You had no respect for the source material at all.
Yeah. And then there was something, not only, it wasn't just the lack of respect for the source material, and that is a big deal, but it was the lack of intriguing writing.
Yeah.
The world wasn't fun like the original was. It wasn't a fun place to be in. It was supposed to feel like this Western in space, right? I didn't feel any of that in the show, and I never finished it.
Robert sounds like a dying grizzly bear.
Oh my god.
That
one I think flew by the wayside because it was the main actress that said something like she can't have a G-string up her butt or something, and I don't. It was
that didn't help.
I remember.
That
didn't help. That never helps in those situations.
That's the case. That's the case where it was more the actress just putting her foot in her mouth more so than it was.
I mean, she wasn't wrong, but it doesn't help either.
Right, but you don't. When the character is known for one thing, you don't just simply say, "I don't want to be that." Then you're like, "Then why are you having the role?"
Think about if somebody was playing Superman or Batman and they were like, I don't want to have a dad bod.
Like, I want to have a dad.
That's a better way. I want to have a dad bod.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to be uber muscular.
Oh my god. That would not work out well.
Yep. Now, another case of Can we agree though? I'm still never forgetting it when you and I went over Eternals.
Eternals, here's the thing. Eternals was not a bad, it was a little boring at some points, but it wasn't a bad movie.
No.
But that is coming from somebody that didn't read Eternals comics. So I was familiar enough with the characters, but I wasn't like this diehard fan of the Eternals. So I didn't have the issues that some of the more. Is there any actual diehard fans of Eternals? I don't know.
Not diehards, but definitely fans in general feel like this should be respected more because this wasn't bad. It was just a case of clearly they knew no one knows Eternals. Let's just change everything.
Well, in like some of the stuff that they change
wasn't for the better.
It didn't add. If you're going to change something, it needs to be something that adds to the lore, adds to the show, makes it more interesting. And I don't feel like any of that besides getting to see Angelina Jolie because I love her.
Or Salma
Hayek, right?
I feel like they did the gender swaps because it was a sausage fest. Let's be honest, it was a sausage fest. There's only like 2 girls out of most of the guys.
I also feel like one thing they could have changed that they didn't, if they were going to make changes, was Sprite being a kid.
Yep.
Like you could have made him 18. Like just edging on adulthood, so it wasn't so fucking weird for him.
Exactly. But yeah, when you and I went over it, again, I just still remember you were like, wait, that's who it is? Wait, but is it the that again, that's still my favorite BTN.
Yeah, that I had no idea because it was so freaking different. And watching toenails grow, I mean, it's about as interesting. Now, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't great either.
And by the way, Ray, we're saying we should judge it based on the words of the actor. I'm just saying stuff like that. It's like if that's the mindset she had going into her performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can agree with Raymond. What I'm trying to say is it usually doesn't work out well. Yeah. I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah.
Right? I don't care if the actress from Ghost of Yotei is the left-leaning or if it is somebody like Gina Carano. I don't care as long as they do the job well, right?
Actually,
I think a lot of people do. Which is weird.
Yeah. But now I think about it, though, looking back, as soon as I said that, I didn't realize, wait, there have been actors in past who have trashed the stuff they were on, but their performance was still solid, but they still say, like, oh, yeah, it was a paycheck. And it's like, really? You still gave it your all because they're a professional. Now, great, I do think a lot of actors aren't as professional sometimes, and I think that doesn't help when you have some actors who aren't as professional, where like if they don't like it, you'll see it on the screen.
Yeah, definitely. When you can tell when it's a cash grab.
Yeah, which is, but I still also remember No Time to Die. Oh boy, remember how people would think?
See, this is where I'm going to be unfamiliar. I'm not.
James Bond, the James Bond movie.
I do feel like I remember them calling it woke and then kind of dialing it back, or it could be think of something different. I'm not sure.
It's because one, building up to it, they thought, oh, there's a female in 007. She's going to be a black female James Bond to replace it. It's like, no, her character, when Bond retired between the movies, she took the moniker of 007 because no one else would, and she was arrogant enough to think, I can handle those numbers. And eventually she becomes humble by the end. You also had, again, the other female actress, I forget her name, from Knives Out, who was in it. And you had that one woman writer everyone hated. She was in Indiana Jones style Destiny.
Yeah.
And yet,
I do know what you're talking about. I can't remember her name, though.
Funny enough, the scene she wrote is the one everyone loved, which had that actress from Knives Out. Everyone loved that scene. That was the stuff written by that one woman.
That's actually hilarious. The irony of it.
I know, and yet they never acknowledged that part. They just simply complained she was involved. It must have been bad. And they get a dodge saying she wrote their favorite scene.
Damn, Pika with the save. Thank you.
Waller-Bridge, yeah.
Yes. And now, yep, that's right. See, I never saw the movie. I remember the kind of discourse around it, and I remember Billie Eilish made a song for it, so that was the best part of it.
All right. I thought it was all right.
It was what, the song or the movie?
Song.
What about the movie?
Mid.
Mid?
It has a good, strong half. The second half, you could hopefully tell. It was a case where they had the ending and then backtracked from it. They were just like, how do we railroad to Bond dying at the end? How do we just railroad into that? And it's one of those cases where it's like, no, this is not how you do it.
Gotcha. And I think Tavia makes a really good point. I feel like this is
the biggest thing. Yeah.
The biggest thing for everything.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
everything. For people don't give a damn about context.
Exactly. They don't give a damn about context. And I said, anything that can be blamed for bad, whatever, writing, acting, directing, whatever, they just simplify it to wokeness and agenda.
I do feel like when it comes moving back to Marvel a little bit, when it comes to that phase where Eternals came out, you had Shang-Chi, you had the new Disney Plus shows. I do feel like because we had just had lightning in a bottle with Infinity War and Endgame, it was always kind of like, how do you follow that up? So there was a lot of new characters, right? You had Shang-Chi coming in, you had Moon Knight,
you had Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever. I still haven't seen that. I need to.
It is good. It was so good. It really
you had
was.
Ironheart in there, right?
Yeah, Ironheart's in there. She's gonna get her show this year.
So there was it was like almost starting with a new slate.
Which it was. They basically saying, let's explode the universe. But it also does feel like maybe, and yes, they wanted to add more women, which they should, because people were saying, why don't we have more female characters? Why is it just Black Widow?
It was literally just Black Widow. What's wrong? And they were also trying to establish, kind of feels like they're trying to establish Young Avengers, right?
Yep.
So they've got America Chavez, Ironheart, Wiccan,
okay, Todd.
Wanda's kids.
Yep. And Todd, without spoiling it, I would disagree with you, because way Hulk is usually stopped, that's usually how you do it.
Oh, remember, Todd's not a comic person.
Right. You're right.
So he might know. Oh, Cassie Lang, yeah. Even though she was recast like 3 times, but still, Cassie Lang. So they're trying to not only rebuild what was broken and address those things that happen with the snap. They're trying to introduce new characters, and it kind of felt like they fumbled it a little bit, at least to me. I love Shang-Chi. That was my of the movies, that was my favorite because it felt very Mortal Kombat to me.
Yep. And I liked it too. In that way. I enjoyed that too. But then Thor: Love and Thunder, that was a huge fumble, and it had potential.
Oh, I love the color palette. I will say that the color palette was incredible.
But I would say the humor. I keep saying this: the scene with Zeus is what derailed it for me.
That scene was so unnecessary.
Yeah, it's like, why does he need his son lightning bolt? Why do you want to just have all this stuff? I thought this.
Why do you need to make him naked? Can you imagine had they done that to Black Widow? I mean, they
did it to Jane.
Wait, what?
Jane Foster. They did that to Jane.
They did?
No, if.
Oh, yeah, because
she was in the movie. I'm going for her because she was in the movie. What if they did that to her?
Yeah, that's fucked up. That's beyond fucked up. And they played it for laughs. It was really weird. Like, it was weird. Gary, thank you so much. He said, I am not looking forward to 007. Now it's gone to Amazon. They are not gonna care about staying true to the characters.
I feel it's less. I think it's going to be less about them not caring and more about they're going to water it down, because as they what set off Broccoli, I'm forgetting her first name, and that is their last name, and that's always been a joke. What set her off was when they were saying how they wanted to basically make it farm it out. She hated that. She felt like, no. You do not, or make a content. They just want to make it. They just treated Bond as content.
Well, I do. The only thing I can say, Gary, that might give you a little hope is not everything at Amazon is a miss, right? You've got shows like Invincible, you've got The Boys, you've got Gen V. But they all have one thing in common usually, and it's Seth Rogen.
But
So
there is one Amazon series that's on the list that is,
Wheels of something.
no, I was going to say Lord of the Rings, Ring of Power.
That's what I was thinking.
That's the case but that's also the case where you had so many of the interviews basically to make it clear they had contempt for Tolkien, that they were going to improve Tolkien. They were that.
So I watched, that was another one I watched a little bit of and I tried to get into. It was 3 hours of beautiful worlds with lackluster character. And I was never really a Lord of the Rings person, period. So it didn't interest me. It wasn't made for me, to be perfectly honest, but I tried and it was gorgeous. It was stunning. But it was not for me.
But again, when you have the people making it, it's like, why would these people put in charge? That's the worry thing with Bond. Is that if they weren't willing to put these idiots in charge, what's to stop them from putting someone similar on Bond?
Well, then that's another thing. That was the big deal with that, was introducing characters of color in Tolkien's world.
Or retconning characters.
Right, in Middle Earth, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then trying to pushing the whole, they believe the whole, oh, the orcs are black people. No, they weren't.
Oh, wait, I do remember that.
There are some of those who believe orcs are black people when it's like, no, they're
That's
not.
weird. Yeah, that's weird. But like I don't care if to me, I don't care if there's a black fucking, I don't know what they called, hobbits, persons, thing. I don't know what they are. I don't give a shit. But it's not something I'm interested in to begin with. It just doesn't bother
Barbara
me.
Broccoli, Michael said. Barbara Broccoli, yeah. That was it for Bond.
Oh, okay. All right.
Michael just pointed out.
Thank you, Michael, for the save there. But yeah, wasn't that also the most expensive show ever made? I think, yeah. I would be curious if it did any numbers. I don't think it did, but
hold on, let me look.
I could be wrong on that one. Tibia says orcs were always monsters, right? But I remember seeing that discourse that they were coded for black people, and I'm like, I don't even know enough about this universe, but I can tell you that sounds ridiculous.
Well, Debbie said this, that only 37% of people who started the show actually finished it.
Yeah, okay. See? That was me. I cried.
Also a 60% decrease in total minutes watched for the show's first season. That is massive.
Yeah. Yep. I did they made a season 2, right?
Yeah, for whatever reason, but then the season 2 did even worse.
Yeah. Fuck that. Moon Knight, Todd said Moon Knight's getting a season 2. Moon Knight was one in that area we were talking about. I don't know, was it phase 4, phase 5, 7, 12? I don't know. Where it was an absolute gem. Absolute gem.
Was it supposed to be only done in one?
I thought so. It was that one, Werewolf by Midnight.
Yeah, you're right. Werewolf by Midnight.
I questioned myself there for a second. Miss Marvel. Those 3 were absolute gems. Okay, I actually really liked a lot of the shows. Never mind. Loki season 1 was good, and so was WandaVision. But Moon Knight, I'm really glad to see that they're getting another one.
Yeah, and oh yeah, we were also going to be talking about games.
Let's go. Well, before we get into games, because I feel like that'll take a little bit more. There was also shows like
She-Hulk
in that area.
That's a case where I'm just like, why did they make these decisions? Why did they make these choices? Why did you take an awesome name like the Intelligentsia, which was supposed to be all the intelligent villains caballing together, and instead make it a bunch of internet troll, red pill, all that.
Try to make it more modern in that way.
Yeah, but it's just like, you made it a hate group? Really?
Yeah, I didn't hate. It's pretty well known.
Oh, I didn't hate it overall.
I read that. I heard that, James. I fucking heard that in my head. But No, I didn't hate
So
it.
did I. So did I. I heard. So I read. I'm like,
The moon haunts you.
The moon.
Followed by
haunts
instant
you.
death. Actually, speaking of Marvel Rivals, I made it to silver today.
Oh, by the way, I checked up on that woke the tech thing. They consider Marvel Rivals woke.
Oh, Marvel Rivals, by any standard, is very woke. They have not the original. Characters of color, queer characters, race swaps, according to them, when it comes to like Iron Fist. I mean, yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check what their reason was because it's pretty hilarious.
I would be very. I mean, all those things that I said are probably. And then you've got Luna saying stuff like, what does she say? It's do I throw like a girl and stuff like that? Like, yeah, it's definitely woke. It's by their definition.
It's the copy and paste one. Contains overtly anti-free speech and subtle pro-communism messages. Terms and phrases deemed politically incorrect by the CCP are censored in-game. What?
Oh, maybe because the
Chinese
chat.
made.
Yeah.
That's
it's
stupid.
it's definitely by every standard and measure we've heard in the last 5 years, Marvel Rivals is woke and also doing gangbusters as far as money and numbers go. I mean, Come on now. So Todd, she never said this. She just didn't.
No, she did not say that. Now, unlike the comics, where Jason Aaron clearly was having it be, Jen truly felt being catcalled was worse than having an abusive father. In the show, it was done ironically because it's later proven she's full of it.
And she was giving her perspective as being a woman, right?
Yeah, and she was saying stuff like, "Oh, I can handle it," and then she immediately snapped at something. It's just like,
yeah,
she's full of it.
It was done to show growth, where she was like, "Unlike you, I deal with this kind of.
I know how to handle it.
Yes.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
No, yeah, clearly do not, lady." And I really liked the actress that played her too. I felt like she did a great job.
You should still see the show she was in. I told you about before. Hold on, let me.
Is it Black Mirror?
No, not Black Mirror.
I think she's in that also.
She might be, but Orphan Black.
Orphan Black, that's what it is. Yep.
Oh, she's apparently in The Monkey, the movie.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
That one looks pretty good.
You know that you do know they had to change it from, because the symbol monkey is actually in Toy Story.
It's also in Arcane.
I know, but apparently they had to change it because that's actually a copyright.
Oh, that's weird. I didn't know that. Yeah, and Raymond's right. All she did was say that she was good at controlling her anger because of how her
she was
living as a woman, and
again, she was full of it.
Yeah, exactly. We don't control our anger. Stop it. We should. We wear it on our sleeves.
Missing the context.
Yeah, definitely. But okay. Was there any other? Let me look at the little list here.
We had a bunch of Velma.
Oh my god. Velma was one of those shows that tried to be like American Dad or Family Guy and make fun of both sides and just fell completely flat because everybody took everything so fucking literally.
Again, it was because it was using something as I know you won't see it that way, and I know Joseph doesn't see it that way. Something as is beloved as Scooby.
Right.
I mean, look, James Gunn got away with stuff because he was poking fun of stuff that had long been seen as jokes, whereas Velma decided to introduce stuff that was never looked at as a joke before, and yet decided, oh yeah, it was clearly this all along. It's like, no, it wasn't.
I don't know. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it enough to even go back to the second season. And it was definitely, it was also one of those shows that united everyone going, ooh, it's bad. Wait, it's Black Phoenix's birthday. Shut up.
Oh, happy birthday. I didn't know.
Happy fucking birthday, Black Phoenix. Oh my God. We need to get you on stream. You and Colin. Come on. Oh, I know Black Phoenix is shy though.
Yeah.
I won't put pressure on you.
Happy
fucking birthday.
Ray put it best. It was okay. When I watched it so I could debate you and Joseph, even I admit, it wasn't the worst, but it still felt like what hurt it was the connection to Scooby. If it didn't have that connection, it would have been mid at best.
I think if it didn't have the connection, it wouldn't
Would have been got greenlit.
It wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. They had to use that IP to piggyback off of.
Exactly.
It was something, that's for sure.
Oh, another example of something that clearly, an example, I gotta say, you know what I realized was probably the first volley of them promoting scenes being woke and then having egg on their face when it wasn't. The Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, there's like a million examples of that, but yeah.
That was like the biggest, I think that was the biggest.
That was the one that went most viral, yeah.
Yeah, of them, like really, that was the starting point. I think that was the beginning of the end, where they kept on saying, oh, the Peach is going to be a girl boss. This is going to be horrible. This is going to be woke. This is going to be crap. And then it came out, it's one of the biggest hits. And they just simply act like they never said anything.
Because she had pants. And that's what it was. She had pants. Like, I remember being sent a clip from Shadiversity, Sword Guy, that literally was so fucking mad. She had pants.
What?
Like, that's just wild to me. That's where we are with this discourse, guys.
That was the starting point of them being upset. They had to force reasons to be upset. Also, Barbie. Remember Barbie? Everyone kept thinking it was going to be woke.
Oh my God. Okay. Barbie is for one, the best movie in the past fucking
what? I don't think one of the best. Yes.
And it was one of my most anticipated movies. And it was woke as fuck. Again, when I say woke, I want to make sure that I'm making it clear I'm using like their definition of woke, not like the real definition, but
obviously.
Right. Absolutely incredible movie. And it was that one, and more recently Wicked was railed against as this woke mess, woke slap, blah, blah, blah. Both of them did gangbusters in the fucking box office. The reviews were good. The cinema score was good. Like, everybody was loving these movies.
Again, those, I think, Barbie and Mario were the double punch of,
that was a similar time period, too.
Same year, 2023.
Yeah. It's absolutely wild that
Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, similar thing. They complained about April and yet that became a hit.
Yeah. And I feel like that's why this whole like what is it? Get woke, go broke, or get woke, get broke. Get woke, go broke, I think it is.
Yeah.
Is such a illogical thing to me.
Yeah, I keep saying, make crap, get crap.
Yes, but this whole thing of calling everything woke until it succeeds, and then moving the goalpost, because shortly after they were calling Barbie woke, you had that Ryan Cannell kind of dial it back in and be like, well, it's woke, Barbie's woke, but it was made for its audience, so it's fine.
Again, they were banking on another He-Man. That's the thing. They were banking on to be another He-Man where they built up the hype and it went exactly the way they thought it would.
Deadpool, woke as fuck, huge.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Spider-Verse.
No Way Home for me was mid, but yeah, Spider-Verse. All examples of really good examples of things that were called woke that have been extremely successful.
Yeah, exactly. Again, that's why I said 2021 was the case where they got things. They were more, I wouldn't say they were more right, but you at least had stuff that was not good quality, but that came out that it could look like they were right. But then just 2 years ago, starting from 2023, their woke bullshit detector has been on the fritz.
I mean, I feel like it always was, but yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen that new Spider-Man show?
A bit of it. I'm sorry, I got put off by that, including Nico in it as a friend, and it's just like, I love Nico. Why is she here?
She's great. It just doesn't make sense to me. I get like including other characters. I was just curious if it ended up being any good.
I'll take Tavia's word. Tavia's usually good, and I know him for having his knee-jerk reaction to things. So if he actually thought it was fine at best, I'll believe him.
Yeah, definitely. And You're absolutely right. April and Michael, that was Megan Fox.
Yeah, it was Megan Fox. So
everyone's. I mean, like,
you
but
still
she
wore the
wasn't a
yellow
redhead.
jacket. I'll say this: Megan Fox was not the worst thing about those movies.
Megan
fact, the
Fox
first
was
one-
literally the best thing about those movies. What are you
In fact-
talking
in
about?
fact,
She
I
was
said she
gorgeous.
wasn't the worst. I know, and I'll say that first movie especially, it actually felt like she was making an effort. Second one, not so much.
Yeah.
Probably because the character was sidelined in general, so she probably been like, "Not gonna take me seriously. Why should I take this seriously?"
Yeah, and that was also during my girl crush on her period.
Still better acting than she did in MK1.
Oh my god, there is no fucking doubts there. Everything is better that. Everything is better than her being in MK1. I hope they learn their lesson. Speaking of MK1, we can talk about games because that was one.
I'll give a big example of something that was utter crap. Saints Row reboot.
See, it was that was like 2 or 3 years ago, right?
3 years ago, yeah, 2022.
Why was that bad specifically?
One, it felt like you could definitely tell the writers had contempt for the things they had done from Saints Row the Third and 4. Even though that gained a huge fan base, it was a case where like they were ashamed of that, and they were trying to do everything they could to avoid it. Even though that's what made the games more popular, otherwise it was a GTA knockoff, and yet they were trying to keep some elements there. Basically look at it this way: the gangs you're doing are a bunch of millennials who are wanting to pay off their college debt.
I mean,
that's the reason why they're forming gangs and getting money at every. And
that's kind of wild.
That's it. That was it.
I get college debt fucking sucks. It does, but like that's kind of wild. I want to go in a gang to pay off my fucking student loans. That's crazy.
And then you don't have anyone as up there as charismatic as Johnny Gat or anything.
Right. Was that a character creator one or?
Well, they're all character creator games, but it's all the characters around you, and even your boss character normally has a good personality. Here again, not so much.
Oh yeah, how did we were talking about TV and I didn't mention?
We didn't.
How did I not mention the last?
I actually
or Sandman or Dead Boy Detectives.
I was going to bring up Last of Us when we talked about the game.
I mean, yeah, that it's going to be brought up both points.
Sandman, you're right. Sandman. Why?
Do you remember the railing against Sandman before it came out? Though I remember one of my early videos that kind of got big was railing against Eric July, trying to say he tried to literally say that Sandman was never woke. The comic.
Crap.
Holy shit. Like, I've read a lot of comics. I've read Saga. Okay, maybe Saga's about the same. I've read a lot of books. There is quite none that are as woke and as well written as Sandman. Sandman will, despite recent shit that has happened, Sandman will always be in my top 5 comics ever created. When you get towards the last 25% of it, it gets a little
bogged down.
I mean, the writing was on the wall with Neil Gaiman. I'll say that. But, I mean, Sandman is absolutely incredible. But to claim that it was never woke when it had...
There's a lot of some old comics that were woke that people don't realize were woke.
Well, it had queer characters, it had trans characters. It had literally story plots dedicated to trans ideology in the 90s. It's wild for me to hear somebody say that it was never woke, but it was now woke because death was not going to be white.
I still remember
when
that.
Death I mean, obviously we all know Death as this kind of lovable, very white, pale-skinned goth chick, right? It was indicative of the times. Still had the goth.
But she takes whatever form she wants.
She does. When she goes to a person, if she went to me, she would take a form that I was comfortable with. If she went to somebody that was brown, she would take a brown form. Black, take a black. If she went to a lizard, she would be a lizard.
Well, if it felt like that, I think personally, her default form is like if she knows that won't bother anyone, she'll go for that, stay in that form.
Yes. Oh my, yeah. This is the best way to describe the last quarter of the Sandman comics.
Yep.
Yep.
R-wordy, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It definitely gets there. And like even the stuff, and I love the story with Calliope. I do.
Yeah.
I think it's a great story, but it's fucking devastating. So, it was wild to me to hear all of that and not go, you guys are dumb. Just like straight up, this is dumb. Like I'm not they're dumb. The idea that it was never woke is dumb.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, they are dumb.
Yeah.
But
Another case of something that we kind of missed: Star Wars: The Acolyte. That's a case where that was just battle around. Just like, what the heck were you guys thinking? Why did you spend so much money on this garbage?
I'm not a Star Wars person. I'll take your word for that one.
Well, that was the one. Okay.
That was the one with that song that I watched.
Oh yeah,
and she
the power of
copyrighted
this,
my
power
video.
of that, power of that one. Yeah.
Yeah, she was not a good rapper.
Nope, she wasn't. And what I was saying was, then you had basically in the actual Star Wars stuff, it was revealed that Anakin, the character who become Darth Vader, was born through the things that make up the Force, known as metachlorians. These long story. But
Right.
Him being a virgin birth was considered, oh my, that is unique.
A
Now
virgin birth, so he's literally Jesus.
Well,
He's Star Wars Jesus?
More like he was born from the Force, through the Force. So, but
So
yeah.
he's right.
No.
You said he was born through Force.
No, the Force. Triss, you know what I mean when I say
I know
the Force.
exactly what you mean.
But then it was revealed, oh, these witches can just do that all on their own. And it turns out that the bad guy who kind of used the Force and was able to create Anakin learned it from them. Like, really? You're trying to say, this whole mystical thing that was a big factor in Lucas' stuff was created by a bunch of space witch lesbians.
And I know they were also upset that there was like a thirst trapping dude.
No, I don't know about that. I do know the case there was a character that should not have been around that long ago, and they just put it in there for fan service, but it was like a continuity headache.
Was it that guy that
with the big Don head?
Okay, no, this was a Asian man with longer hair, a little bit, and I seen it on a bunch of thumbnails. I don't know anything about it, but I was like, what's the matter with a thirst trap in a fucking show? Like, come on now. I thought we were good with sexy women. Why not sexy men?
Agreed. That I won't argue. I didn't actually watch Acolyte all the way through, but I'm aware of those beats.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but there's a huge difference that you're not getting. Even if the witches create a life, they're not the chosen one. And that's true, but the fact is, yes, he was the chosen one, but his creation was influenced by those ladies. And it also makes it clear they treat him as the chosen one because he was created through the Force, but now we found out, wait,
it was
the
right.
Force. Yes.
It is not smart for Star Wars to say this character was created through Force.
No, the Force.
No, I'm leaving the out. It makes it funnier. It's pretty funny.
But anyways, let's get back to video games if you want.
That is pretty funny. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned Dead Boy Detectives was a little sad. It was such a good show. I love the Dead Boy Detectives, and they got obviously the Neil Gaiman stuff hit, and it was done. Like, they weren't getting a second season. But if you guys haven't seen Dead Boy Detectives, definitely check it out. It's worth your time, even if it's just one season. I'm a kid. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong at all, Gary. Not even a little bit.
But yeah, like I said, Saints Row was definitely a big case of it flopped, and there are even people who feel like there was some agenda stuff. Even people who are not anti-woke felt like this.
Are we allowed to say, if you're saying there was agenda stuff in that game, can we say the same thing about Death Stranding? Because Death Stranding is a very conservative game. It is pro-life, right? It is anti-abortion.
I would agree with that. Because
so is that an agenda?
Probably, but I would also say that it was hold on. The fact that it was just a walking simulator, I think.
I mean, yeah, that makes it worse.
That's
So
the case where
sometimes making deliveries was fun, but like, not really.
That's what I'm saying. That's the case where other factors trump even any agenda stuff. But
I'm just saying, if we're saying one has an agenda, we also have to be consistent for stuff like Death Stranding, right?
Right. But then you also had Horizon Forbidden West. People could play how they changed her look. That was the start of that crap.
So I'm not a Horizon person. I actually haven't given it the time of day. I've thought about it multiple times and then thought, hey, sorry.
Hey, you got access. You got access.
Yes. But then whenever I get it, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to check it out. I might play a little bit to see if it's worth a stream game, but I'm always like, you know what? I could do this, or I could play Stardew.
Right. But Horizon was a case of they had a couple of screenshots and just kept reusing that same screenshot. But if you looked at anywhere else, she looks just as good as she looked in the first game.
They did the same thing to Tanya.
Yeah.
I don't think she's pretty.
But she's
like,
not.
I don't think she's gorgeous. She's pretty. She's pretty. That's not what I meant. She's not gorgeous like some of the other characters. But they did the same thing to her. You will forever see that screen cap of Aloy in the same way that you will forever see that screen cap of Tanya with yelling.
Oh, and there's others. I've seen others that keep being popped up saying this is how they treat black people, and it's like, or women, and it's like, what? These are just badly picked screenshots.
Exactly. Gary said, thank you so much, Gary. He said, Death Stranding is shit. I don't care if Kojima did it. Get anti-woke, go broke. Can we do that? Is that what that is, Gary?
I don't know.
I get it. I am curious how Death Stranding 2 does, but not super interested. I would have to be very, very bored.
And you had God of War Ragnarok. Remember that? How people complained about that game, and yet it did well. But yet,
God of War was okay, and that's something I put in the thumbnail. Something we should definitely address. The sweet baby ink of it all.
Yep, the sweet. Well, that came about afterward, but people retroactively brought it up.
Okay, but Sweet Baby Inc. was involved.
Yep, they were. They were definitely involved.
And that game did very well. It
did very well.
It is one of those games that people like a lot. So that one and Alan Wake 2, right?
Alan Wake 2. Yeah, exactly. Alan Wake 2. I mean, now granted, it only just now made a profit, and now they're able to gain the royalties.
Right, but it wasn't a bomb. It literally
it was not a bomb
making a profit.
Exactly. Again, it took about a year to make a profit, but that's still better than other games.
Oh, for sure. Look at Suicide Squad. Raymond says Death Stranding is good for what it is. Problem is, what it's trying to be isn't very exciting to play.
Yep.
And I can agree with that. Like, I think the main reason, just like Todd said, I was actually interested in it was the very cool graphics and Norman Reedus. I love him in The Walking Dead. So I was like, okay, I'm going to check it out. Add Mads Mikkelsen in it too. Like, I was excited to play it. I was bored very quickly, but I was initially excited to play it.
Yep.
Gary, thank you so much. He says, I love Kojima for giving us Metal Gear Solid, but he has not shown he doesn't need Konami yet. Whilst Konami has shown they don't need him. Ooh. Okay, Gary, question. A couple years ago, they did a teaser at the Game Awards or one of the bigger shows where they had him doing a horror game. And I don't know what the fuck it was, but I actually have way more interest in that than I do Death Stranding 2. And I can't remember what it was. I was curious if you had any interest in that specifically, because it is Kojima. Alan Wake 2 was a massive failure. Factually incorrect. Literally, objectively wrong.
It literally just made its
made
budget.
money.
Yeah, it just literally got enough to make its budget. Now they're getting royalties going forward. They are now, Grant, could have done better if it got a physical release and was on Steam. Oh yes.
Okay, so there were just like
It had nothing to do with the wokeness. It had to do with some of the release.
well, if it was on Steam, that was going to be a big deal, right? Same
Yeah.
with like that's reasons why games like Stellar Blade were not doing well. They didn't sell the copies. It's because it was a PlayStation exclusive.
Exactly.
But now they're doing a Steam release date here sometime this year, and that game is going to do gangbusters once that comes out, right?
Exactly.
So obviously, they didn't even do a physical.
For Stellar or Alan. Alan Wake is just now doing a physical.
Okay, so then it's going to make a lot of money from that.
And
too.
it's been mostly been a Epic Games
Wow.
Store exclusive because they
Yeah.
gave money. That's what ended up doing a lot of harm.
Exclusive status makes it harder in the very beginning.
Well, not just that, but even people who are PC owners,
To make
there's a
money.
lot who do not want to get anything from Epic. They're either Steam
Why?
or nothing.
Oh, okay. See, I have Epic. I use Epic for Nikki Infinity, and plus they always give away like, well, they've got Fortnite on there, obviously,
By the
but
way,
they always give away like free games every month.
Yeah, I still do. I do those.
I get them every time. Like they've got Escape Academy that came out on there that looks actually very interesting. So
They did
you
the
guys-
entire Tomb Raider Survivor trilogy.
yeah, you can get some free shit from Epic Game Store.
Wait a minute. No, never mind. But hey, if you have an Amazon Prime account?
Not currently. I don't think so.
Okay, because I got all the games I keep getting from them.
Oh yeah, they do free games too.
Yeah, and they do some pretty big ones and some not so big ones.
Yeah, but I see that they do a lot of free ones. I think Epic. I think it was Epic that gave away the Dredge also.
Yes,
Another really, really good game.
but
Gary, he says, I hate how it makes no sense. It's an acid trip. I saw the Death Stranding trail. It showed rubber gloves that came alive and covered her mouth. And it shows a spaceship flying out of a baby's mouth. What the fuck? Okay. It did feel like an acid trip. But I thought at the very least it might be interesting. Now, if it's going to be like Death Stranding, it's probably going to be boring. But like, it at least piqued my interest to see if it was something that I wanted to check out. I love psychological horror. I can't handle it very well. I'm a giant baby, but I like to try.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm. Oh wait, shit.
What?
Next month, PS Plus is having Veilguard for free. I'm gonna check that shit out.
Which is not
That's
a good sign.
awesome.
That's not a good sign for Vanguard, of course, or Veilguard.
That is a terrible sign for Veilguard. That's even worse than that's even sooner than when was it Suicide Squad and WWE came on PS Plus. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I realized 2023 was definitely the peak of the complaining about video games. Can we agree there? 2023 was definitely the peak of it.
No, I think it's current.
Well, no, I'm saying you had MK1, you had Alan Wake, you had Baldur's Gate, you had Spider-Man.
Maybe I'm paying more attention now that I stream more games, but I think it's current. You've got, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 recently.
That's true.
Apparently had sodomy with kids, which was a lie perpetrated by the likes of people like JDA. You've got Avowed right now.
Yep.
That's another big one.
Yep. You did have Suicide Squad.
Yeah, in South of Midnight. Like,
fair enough.
It is every day there is a new game that they complain about that's woke. Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? That's coming out soon. That's another one. Every single day you see a new, oh my God, they're mad at the shrine. No, they're not. Stop it. Come on.
By the way,
destroy shrines in every fucking game.
You can destroy all this crap. It's part of the open world experience.
Exactly.
It's like going up into. That's the same as complaining about in GTA. You could go up to a park and just shoot up everyone. Yeah, then you'll get the police after you.
Right, but that's part of the experience.
Exactly, and yet they try to. Oh, by the way, interesting thing about Death Stranding. Sam Lake, the main guy behind Alan Wake, actually has a cameo.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
It's like Kojima has a cameo in one of his Remedy games.
The one thing I'm seeing recently, and it's basically when people hedge their bets in this culture war, whether they're devs or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
The devs, there's one recently specifically that's kind of fucking weird to me, and it's the guy from Lords of the Fallen.
Yep.
Like, he's been trying to be like anti-woke.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because when that happens, like, this is one of those games that I talked about when the remake came out, right? I talked about how excited I was to play it, how fucking hard this shit was. Like, I don't feel like anybody was talking about it, but now that he's anti-woke, people
now they're talking.
It's a weird thing to me, especially when, like, you cover stuff that you have no interest in. If you don't have any interest, why does it matter to you what the guy from Lord of the Fallen said?
Exactly. It's the opposite way. Like, why should anyone care about these games just because there's gay people in it?
Right, exactly. Alan Wake 2. Thank you so much, Gary. He said Alan Wake 2 was good. There was only 3 or 4 things that was woke that drove me mad.
Okay. I hope Saga isn't one of those, because again, the way she's handling the story made explain why they changed
Yeah, I'd
it.
be curious what it was. I haven't. Alan Wake 1 made me so frustrated.
Yeah, that's one where
So
you definitely need to cheat.
Frustrated.
That's one where you definitely need to cheat.
Yeah. Well, I was playing it on PlayStation, but it made me so frustrated. I couldn't get from one point to the other, and I gave up on it. I would like to like those games. Like, they look like fun, but I went crazy on the first one.
You know, another game that looks like fun, but I know will also drive you mad is Hitman.
Oh, Hitman! I played a little bit of Hitman, not a whole bunch, but it
would drive you mad.
It would drive. The stealth is, I can't do it.
You don't have the patience. You would just gun everything up.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously Spider-Man 2 was a big one.
Oh yeah, that was a big one. Mary Jane.
But hey, Albus, by the way. Hey, Albus, by the way.
Good morning, Button.
Now, having finally gone through the game, I could definitely say a lot of my problems were more in the writing. I thought the Haley, the deaf girl scene was nice, but not really needed. It definitely
was a side mission. No side missions really are that substantial.
No, but what they did in it, the whole no audio and everything. You're already in a quiet area to begin with, but it felt like it really slams things to a halt compared to some of the other side missions.
I mean, there were side missions where you go and
swing with pigeons,
prom and pigeons, and so that doesn't.
Yeah,
that doesn't bother me.
Oh, I know, but and I also feel like MJ. It felt like Peter and her were perfectly fine, and then when she's yelling at him, saying, "I'm doing all this stuff," it's like Peter didn't do much wrong.
Well, that was for a reason. That was for her to turn into Scream, right?
Well, and that's what Scream was shouting, and yes, there's a bit.
And that's why she was going down that kind of path, right? Because she was taken over. They did absolutely improve her side missions.
Though. Oh, definitely.
Oh my God, so much better.
One, having us keep that because I felt the best part in the first game for her missions was when she finally got the taser.
Yes, it made it so much more enjoyable than the first one.
And now they made it a gun.
Yes, yeah. When she was infected as Scream, that was the whole point of why she was like that.
A lot of the plot was more in the writing, and it felt like this game deserved another year or two to expand things. I mean, again, finding out that they only used 10% of the dialogue Tony Todd recorded really bothers me.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay,
10%.
Here's Gary's reasons for the Alan Wake 2 woke stuff. Saga didn't need to be changed, and 2, they had Alan go, "I'm not the hero. We are the hero of the story." At the end, fuck off. He is and has been from the start.
Okay. One, Saga, the change was done because they brought in Mr. Door, who was black, and they wanted to connect this thing. Because they made it's been made clear she's his daughter. And if you're going to have him be black, then they still made clear her mom is white and all that. And it's also a case where clearly Alan wrote her into the story, roped her in. So for all we know, that could have changed things as well. And as far as the end, technically, Alan needs other people involved than just himself. Yes, he was the hero of the first story. But then after the first game, he's now in a position where, again, he needs someone to influence while he does the writing to affect the world. Again, it makes sense in the game.
This is a good point. So anyone here want to talk about Suicide Squad?
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about Suicide Squad now. That is fucking fine. I think Cartoon and Comics thinks it's a gotcha, but it's really not. The game was fucking fun as a single player experience. The issue was the glitches in the servers and not being able to experience it in the same way that we do with something like Marvel Rivals, right? We'd bring 4 people in, we'd have fun for about 45 minutes.
40 minutes.
Then, yeah, it really depended. Even on Bombshells, when it was just Steph and I, by the end of a 2-hour stream, it was so bad because the servers and the issues that they had with that made the multiplayer, which was a big sell on that game, nearly impossible.
Tevia, I would argue that the story did make sense. It might not have been what you wanted to see, but it did make sense.
Yeah, it made sense, but it took time for that story to progress, right? So because of the idea that you had only gotten about half the story by the end of the first season, people were already outraged with the death of Batman. People were already outraged with the death of anyone in the Justice League, but specifically Batman. Only to come to find out when we get the other half of the story that it wasn't Batman.
But then they act like, oh, they just retconned this to make us happy.
Yeah, that was wild. How?
Yeah,
Kevin
it's like
Conroy
the clues
is
were
dead.
there.
Come on. And there, like I said, last time we talked about this, I shared a video before Benny from Comic Storian died. He did a really great breakdown after the first part of the series, kind of explaining all of the hints and clues that every single one of the Justice League were still alive.
The ring could work for King Shark when it shouldn't. The fact that the Flash lost a finger, the next time we see him, he has full fingers. No, his power does not cause him to regrow a finger. It's a fast metabolism, but it's not freaking Deadpool healing.
Yeah, exactly. And so the cookies crumbles were there. We just couldn't see the whole thing yet. And by the end, it did make a lot of sense.
They had to rush too much.
The issue with that was the lack of support from WB Games. There was the server issues. And then obviously the game didn't make money. Right?
Exactly. It
doesn't matter if I enjoyed it or you enjoyed it or anyone. It bombed. And it lost them a lot of money.
I still give them props that they were going to have it be there was no miss out on anything, you can't get anything. I still love that where you don't you have access to all the
battle passes,
all the battle passes, everything and all that. You don't need anything else like that. Whereas, say, even Rivals, I'm sorry, the fact that one achievement is now blocked because you weren't involved with the season 0 still bothers me.
Yeah, that sucks. That does suck. And that was another thing about
I hate achievements like that where they're blocked behind a previous season.
Yep.
It's just going to always be there as a constant reminder, you didn't do anything in this.
And then people talk about how it was the live service model. But if you bought the game initially, you didn't have to spend another penny because you got a battle pass token. You bought the first battle pass. And if you did those things, you got the money for every battle pass. I never spent another dime on the game.
Exactly.
Never. So, I mean, obviously they wish it would have done better. I enjoyed the game. It's not something I finished even.
Nope, me neither.
But I did enjoy it for what it was.
Yeah. And also, remember,
and it was gorgeous.
The opposite end of things, and only people are retroactively complain about it, Hogwarts Legacy was a case of you had other people trying to bring it down because of Rowling's involvement.
Well, that, and then it was also the hypocrisy. People were boycotting it. It didn't work, obviously. Hogwarts did fine. they boycotted the game. People played it. But the hypocrisy of it is those people that were the anti-woke people that were propping the game up totally completely ignored the woke elements of the game.
Yes, like the fact that you can have a trans character, I think. Or was it just a non-binary?
Trans. Yeah, that would be awesome, but I wouldn't want a Marvel Rivals. Hood had said they need to come out with their something like that, but I wouldn't want a clone.
No.
I would want something unique. But yeah, the fact that by any measure, Hogwarts Legacy was woke.
Wait, what is Cartoon Comics saying here?
Why they destroy the game? 3 reasons: investors, consultants, and the toxic positivity of the media and studio. We need to get better.
Okay, I get what he's saying. You have some investors who push for some of the stuff. You have the consultants. If people like him still believe they have absolute power when they don't.
Are you, like Sweet Baby Ink consultants?
Yeah, and then he's saying the toxic positivity. That is true to a point. How many times do you see someone is not that good, but because it has something that that is gay or whatever, you sometimes have the media initially praising it until and either ignore it, or if it starts to really do bad, they'll then backpedal.
I see more of an issue like this is an issue a little bit in the cozy game sphere.
Yeah.
People that get free games.
Oh yeah, big time.
And it just game review YouTubers, right? In general, and access media that get free stuff don't give it a fair shake. They don't give it a fair review. And like you have to disclose when it was gifted. And there was one video I was watching that was like the best cozy games of the year, right?
Yep.
And it was 50 games and 40 of those were gifted. Like it is absolutely insane the amount that can prop up a game just by getting one for free.
By the way, read Gary's and I'm going to respond to that one.
Okay. Gary, thank you so much. He said, for Alan's story changes reality, something happens to Saga's daughter, and she says, I'm not going to let another white asshole decide what I do with my life again. If it was the other way around, it would be racist. I agree.
That was the one cringe line, but that was just one line. I don't think that tainted everything. That one line, that definitely felt like if Sweet Baby Ink was involved, that felt like something they probably encouraged.
I mean, to be fair, I do hear people talk like that, so at least it's realistic.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I think they probably
it was unnecessary.
That's what I said. It was encouraged. I don't think it was forced. It was encouraged, and they should have gone with it. It should not have been suggested.
No, because Gary's absolutely right. If it were any other way around,
it would have been racist.
It would have been, what the fuck? Why would you put that in?
That was one line that I just did not ruin everything for me.
No, and Gary said he liked the game too. I don't think it ruined anything for him, but he was giving his examples. But yeah, that is something that I could see as being unnecessary.
By the way, Life is Strange. The fact you still have people complaining who are complaining about the current game, and yet it was never a problem for them before.
Oh my God. What did I watch? Was it Vara? Complaining about Life is Strange being
or even once you just started going over Lost Records.
Oh my God. It feels like I thought every game that I was looking forward to, they were attacking. And then I just realized it was every game. So I was like, not a big deal. It was Lost Records, the new DEI slop.
Again, it's like, did these people forget? These are the people. Now they're probably like, what? Are they only focusing on the fact that they also made Vampire and just ignoring Life is Strange?
They made Vampire?
VAMPYR.
PYR. Yeah, I've been playing that a little bit of recent. What?
Yeah,
that's a good fucking game too.
That's don't nod.
Oh, it all makes sense now. But yeah, that one, it's literally okay. What it is to me, at least from my side of things, is the cover. You see a squirrel girl thick, and you see a brown person, immediately that's what you go to. That game, I really fucking enjoyed that game. It's on track to be better than the original Life is Strange and Before the Storm, but they have to nail the landing.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to say that it is, but it is a lot of fun, and it is one of those games that when not all the time in games do we see characters three-dimensionalized in that way, and I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I'm like, that was one I was excited to play just to show you guys because I had so much fun with it, right? So like,
that's a case of cringe. That's cringe, yes, but not, like it's more realistic cringe. Like it's something that you would cringe in real life because someone would say it. It's not a cringe in the, oh, they forced this.
Where the fuck do you find this crazy ass shit?
What?
They give them $600?
I don't buy that.
Yeah. They give away free games to YouTubers and to Access Media all the time.
Wait. WB, the same people when they invite, unlike say Disney, where they treat their people like royalty. WB just invites, when they invite like reviewers or journalists to it, whereas WB just say, here you are, you get to watch the movie early, that's all you're getting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like what they treat video game people much better. I don't buy that for a moment.
I urge you, Cartoon and Comics, to start looking stuff up yourself and to stop believing everything you hear.
And double check your sources if you have any.
Triple check. Come on now. Look, some of the stuff that you say is absolutely batshit.
It sounds like the stuff that Smash 18 would post.
Exactly. Gary, the biggest one is they made the two goofy lovable cops from the original serial killers.
Yeah.
And then in my second playthrough, I realized they made them over the top racist.
That's true. That is true. That's the case where they revealed some of the characters from the first one are not as good. Although, again, we don't know if that was a case of that could have been Alan's reworking of things that had a side effect on them. I think that's also the possibility. Because you got to remember, Alan is constantly changing the world. So for all we know, he could have changed them for the worst. You got to take that into account, Gary, that this is the case when you have reality warping like this, anything's possible.
I don't have a dog in this race, but it does sound kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, Silent Hill 2.
Oh my God.
Oh, she's an SA survivor. But why doesn't she look as hot and sexy?
Why aren't her tits out for all of us to see, even though she's an SA survivor? What?
Why did she look so not? It's like, I remember some person saying, like, she does not look like someone who would have been SA'd. She's not hot enough to have been SA'd.
The fuck you just say?
I'm saying I saw someone on Twitter make that excuse, saying she does not look like someone who would be SA'd.
Oh my God. Some people just shouldn't be allowed to have platforms. Holy crap.
I agree.
Oh my, I'm being hyperbolic. I obviously
don't
support censorship, but no, you know what? Everybody should be allowed to say whatever they want. That way we know who the fucking idiots are like that.
Exactly. That still bothers me that someone said she doesn't look like someone who would be SA'd. Really?
That's crazy. I mean, that's there was a video I watched a long time ago where Steven Crowder said the same thing about a woman. So, I mean, it could be just a dude thing, but I don't feel like a very smart dude thing. That's disgusting.
Now, another case of a game that completely bombed, and again, from the inside sources, this is probably one of the few games where you can confirm agenda-driven, was Concord, when you take into account that the whole, most of the stuff, the ideas and everything came from the character designer who was banging the director, the game director.
Well, not only that, but it was a looter shooter that was $40. That should have been free to play, and you can't play with your friends unless they also spend $40. Like nobody was interested. The character designs were not well done. Nobody knew these characters.
They put too much money. It took way too long.
Yeah, it was. even before the game came out, I never seen one person say they were interested in it.
None. And it's like, mostly because they kept most of the things under wrap. Again, hearing the behind the scenes stuff, that's the case where I'm like, okay, I can't argue. This was the case of this woman had an agenda, had the power over everything, and
was the agenda to create ugly characters?
From what I heard, yes.
That's weird.
She wanted character to be unconventional.
Unconventional is one thing.
But it is her design.
Were just ugly.
Her design, so.
Yeah, maybe they should have hired a new design. Raymond, thank you so much. He said, as the stream continues, it makes me glad I curated my YouTube feed to ignore the culture war BS. It's weapon grade level of brain rot. It really, really is. And that's what is so funny about it is most of my algorithm is ignoring that stuff. Usually it's just music news and gaming and comics news, right? Chill. You're good. But
hey, better than my dogs. Better than my dogs.
She usually listens. But the thing is it is also something on occasion that I do seek out because I'm wanting to know the news and what is going on and what to cover and what people are talking about. I try to keep my ear on the ground a little bit, but it gets to a point where it's like I don't take it seriously from both sides of the coin. I don't take it seriously at all because how many times have we seen Captain Marvel is going to be a bad movie? Let's all watch it and review it and put in our money towards Marvel.
The hate watch. The hate watch.
Like, I just don't take it seriously at this point anymore because they're still going to watch it. Or they never, it's either one way or the other. With the movies, it seems like they're still going to watch it. With the games, they never had any interest to begin with. Like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, there was so much discourse on that. And I haven't seen a single one of these people playing the game.
Nope.
It's weird to me. Gary, thank you so much. He said that hurt a lot. Mulligan and Thornton were so silly. And they were the light fun in a bleak story.
He's talking about Alan Wake again. And again, dude, you're not going to hear me argue that. I'm just saying given the stuff that's going on in the game, I could see that being a case of where they got caught up in Alan's unintentional reality warping.
Right. But when you grow attached to a character and they change them a lot, I can totally see that.
Agreed. Completely agreed. Oh, here's another game on the list. Dustborn.
Oh, wait, yeah. Let me get this first. And they made the old radio host have Alzheimer's, and the old woman was tormented for years until they killed her.
Again, I think that's what, if you look at it this way, this was clearly meant to be the Empire Strikes Back of the Alan Wake story.
And that means what?
Make things darker, push things to the edge, to the breaking point.
Really? Even with that song in there and all that stuff?
Oh, that was still awesome, yeah. And but the actual story itself was, in fact, that whole song thing was clearly a troll from the character of Mr. Door.
Gotcha. Okay.
No, yeah, I agree, Crystal. I agree, Crystal. Oh yeah, Dustborn. People complaining. People bitching and moaning about it being DEI and everything.
I mean, it was the combat was fun in it. Again, it was a game that I didn't finish. That says a lot. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. It just got a little boring. Whereas something like Lost Records doesn't have the combat, right? It doesn't have that. But the story is so good that I have no issue finishing the game. It's fun.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree, Tris. I'm just saying that that's an example. And again,
wasn't Dustborn an indie game also?
I think it might have been. I do know that apparently there was some government subsidies put into it.
Like they got money?
Yeah, tax money. Everybody
gets tax money.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's like one of the big fundings of the game, apparently. And I gotta say, some of the names or some of the attacks were cringe, like the cancellation.
See, I never got to that part of the game. I gave it a couple. I think I gave it 2 streams, and 4 days. I still hate this game for making me have that. We are the dust barn. We are the new porn. No.
Seriously, what the hell?
Yeah. It was something, but it was
Dustborn 3 will be about time travel.
Oh my god, no, Dustborn 3, and it I had never even heard. I really liked the comic book aesthetic. There was some good things to it, but that was one game I would have never heard about if it wasn't for the outrage around it. So at least, I guess there's that. It's free marketing. I guess.
Yeah, agreed.
Please never sing that song ever. I'm gonna sing it every day. Every day, just for you, Todd.
I'll say also another game we didn't bring up. Rewind a little. Dragon Age Veilguard.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that, but didn't talk about the stuff around it.
Yeah, the complaints about that. From what I've heard, this was another case of a game that was meant kind of like what almost happened with Mass Effect Andromeda, but slightly different. This was clearly the case of they were making this game to be a live service game, and then they dropped so much of that.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's from what I've heard, and from what one of those YouTubers I linked you to, Noah Caldwell Gervais, really good. One of those game essays type of shows.
Yeah.
One of his recent ones was about all of those, and he covers all the other games. And believe it or not, Veilguard is one where it'll carry over some of your decisions. Like all the games carry over your decisions, even though you're playing as different characters. Unlike Mass Effect, where it's the same character, this case it's a choices that affect the whole world. Unfortunately, though, by this point, it's the most bare minimum of carryover.
Well, that's silly.
Yeah, but
I never played the other Dragon Ages, so it wasn't something I was super interested in.
No. You don't need it. You don't need to have. I'm just simply saying the choice carryover is not as required.
Right. But if it's gonna be free, I might check it out. But I do know people were complaining that it had like top scars and it had some gender dysphoria stuff, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's a BioWare game. They constantly had gay, queer, straight, all those type of relationships in all of them. You had all these different options. But I would have to also say the lengths it took to get to this game also hurt it.
Was it in developmental hell?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah,
let me double check when Dragon Age Inquisition came out. Hold on.
I know that's been a minute.
That came out 10 years. There was a 10-year gap.
Holy shit.
Not good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I might check it out, but
you can check out the video first before you make that decision.
Yeah, it's not a game that's necessarily for me anyways.
Right.
But it seems like it hasn't done very well. I know it sold, I think I remember seeing it sell. It hit 1 million copies, but I know that it financially lost money. Yes.
It needed so much more.
Like it definitely lost money. If it's already coming on PS Plus, it's not a good sign.
By the way, another game that people seem to go back and forth on is Baldur's Gate 3. That's a game where it's so popular, yet you still have people trying to use it as the dump on it as being woke.
It is woke.
No, I'm saying in a bad way. The bad way.
Oh, okay. Well, I think to them being woke is bad no matter what, but it is woke, right?
It is.
You can fuck a bear in it, which is weird, but you still can. Like it is, and it did gangbusters as far as sales and accolades go, and is still to this day so fucking popular.
Agreed.
Like
Very
there are
much
still,
so.
I know that at least when I started my last playthrough of it, there was still secrets that had not been found. How is that possible?
Oh, there are a lot of games that have some secrets really put in deep.
I just can't believe it. But I mean, it stole every award a couple years ago. Every single one. I was like, you guys suck. What's pissing me off is Remedy Connected Universe They have good stories: Alan Wake, Quantum Break, Control, maybe Max Payne. And the next game is a live service. I think they are being forced to do it. Or forced into it.
While the next game is a live service, they still also have the Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes in the work too.
What's the next game?
Let me double check. Now again, they could be forced to it, or maybe they want to experiment. Because the fact they have two games being in development at the same time, definitely. It's called hold on, it's called FBC Firebreak.
So it's in that connected universe, though?
It does not seem so. It's basically a team-based player versus environment first-person shooter.
No, that's not.
Oh, yes, it is. It is. It's set after the events of Control.
Oh, okay. I don't know. That's weird. That's weird that they're like I'm really over the games as a service trend.
It's a game that they're developing and publishing themselves in-house. So I do feel the taste of them just trying to give it a shot.
Is it a free-to-play game?
Doesn't say at the moment.
I mean, that's a little different, but
yeah, there's no price, no nothing that's been stated. It confirmed that the budget stated to be $25 million. It's that good or bad? I don't think that's bad.
I don't know. Raymond said Baldur's Gate is immune to disdain and rhetoric from the anti-woke, and it pisses them off to no end, and I find it extremely hilarious. I want to be good at that fucking game. I hate its turn-based. It looks so cool.
Agreed. Let me double check. How much did Alan Wake 2 cost? Alan Wake 2 cost
probably more than that.
$70 million.
Oh, that's not too bad then.
Yeah. So that includes that the game development, marketing, and that includes the marketing budget.
Right.
Making it one of the most expensive games to develop.
I mean, it made money. That's all they care about.
Agreed.
I mean, it's supposed to make money. That's the point of making a game. I get that, but that's why it drives me crazy when people are like, "Well, the agenda of all these games, the agenda is to make money, guys."
Okay. Cartoon Comics, be quiet. Now, investors do not control everything. We don't have a Dino Crisis remake, thanks for the U.S. and the Capcom division. I don't think it's just that, dude. And that's not investors, that's executives. Big difference.
Lordy. Again, I urge you to go ahead and take some time, and when you hear these things from these people, just do a little bit of research. You could be right on some of it, but you'll find out more times than not you're being fed. Hey,
I agree.
If they tried it with a random game, it'd be okay because it's connected to Control, you have to play it if it has a story. But if it fails, it's a strain on the universe. They were making 2 live service games.
They were making another one.
I have no idea. But if it's a first-person shooter,
they did a different game. They co-developed called Crossfire X, which was a separate thing. But Remedy worked on the single-player campaign for it.
Raymond says Dino Crisis hasn't gotten a new game or remake because of Capcom. Nothing more, nothing less.
Exactly. But another game we should definitely, if we're going to be wrapping up things eventually, it should be The Witcher.
Yeah, I want to talk about The Witcher because this one is actually.
Oh, just recurrently they show a new thing.
The Witcher 4. Okay, so you had all these people, and I had this. I'll bring that up. You had all of these people, right? Claiming that The Witcher, like Ciri in The Witcher 4 trailer, which we saw drop at the Game Awards. We watched it live. It looked incredible.
It did.
Everything about that game was beautiful. Mind you, it was a CGI trailer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we get these CGI trailers, and they can be gorgeous. They can be amazing. And at the end of the day, when you see the gameplay, you're like, oh, yeah, that sucks. Like, Diablo constantly makes these beautiful CGI trailers. And I'm like, well, it's Diablo. I'm not really interested, right? So That's what it is. And you had all these people, mind you, I think they might be gay because Siri was absolutely stunning. Like, beauty is subjective. I understand that, but holy
Agreed.
shit, she looked incredible. Now, we got a little bit of a behind the scenes thing. We got a little bit of more footage yesterday, and you had all of these people coming out saying they changed her face.
They changed the lighting. That's all they changed.
Lighting does wonders if you've ever recorded a video or been alive, period.
Exactly. They can make you look skinnier or fatter or chubby or whatever. And yet they're acting like they changed
And they
the
use
model.
a picture where she has her mouth open, like the screenshot, like where you slow it down when she's talking so she looks a little bit worse, right? And they compare it to one where she is just sitting still. Now, you had all these people coming out saying that they changed her face, they changed the structure. There was even one crazy person that tried to say that they changed her face because Trump won the presidency.
They're not even an American studio.
Exactly.
What did that have to do with anything?
It is mind-boggling to me that would even be involved. And you've got all these people like Grumps, who is this self-granulizing, like, I did this, I am so good. You can thank me for good games.
I'm Game Jesus.
Game Jesus himself, Grumps, trying to claim victory, only to have them come out and say that it was bullshit.
Yep.
Literally, they came out and said it is the same in-game model as in the original trailer. It was not modified. There was nothing different.
There
was, and if you had eyes, like, honestly, you could tell there was nothing different, right? To be fair, if you had eyes, you could tell that. Or if you knew anything about video production or game development or anything along those lines, right? You could tell that there was no changes. It was very clear. But them coming out and actually verifying that it had not changed was the icing on the cake of this stupid fucking sandwich. I don't know why I use cake and sandwich in the same sentence. I don't know.
Hold on. I just know it's... okay, first of all, cartoon and comics. CD Projekt Red has an office in LA. That's in Vancouver. But otherwise, they still have it in Poland. They did not... It's not like they moved their main headquarters to LA.
Right. They are not an American company. And Trump winning presidency doesn't affect anything. Games as they are produced, when you see alpha footage, CGI footage, beta footage, final footage, always slightly differentiates between, right?
Yes.
Like, even from playing when I got the beta for Suicide Squad, it was slightly different than what we got with the final product.
Exactly.
That is the point of testing games, of testing mechanics, of looking at what could make this person look the best, what lighting you're in, what action they're doing, right?
Yep.
But have them, I just, it is mind-blowing to me that this even became a thing. It is the fake victories of the fake people that think they're winning something. You're not winning anything. It's a video game, you guys. Calm the fuck down.
Yep. 2 super chats from Gary, by the way.
Gary, thank you so much. Let me go up a little bit. One was called Condor, and the other was called Kestrel. One was canceled, and the other one started over and become FBC Firebreak. I don't know why both games use bird names for the code names.
Who knows?
But birds are kind of cool.
I can say this. This is the case where we've reached a year where everything is collapsing on the anti-SJW. Because they've had more blow up in their faces than they've had even being remotely possibly right.
Are you 100% sure that Trump didn't fly over there and kick down those doors, threaten to stick big balls on them and fix if they don't fix Surrey?
Look at the person's name.
No, I've seen Dumb and Dumber's been around.
I know. I'm just laughing about it.
You're right. I am not 100% sure that he did not go
I'm
in
99%
there.
sure.
I am 99.99999% sure.
Yeah.
And if he did do that, I wish I was a fly on the wall so I could see them laugh at his face.
Exactly. But like I said, can we boil that down to that's been the big thing of this past year or so, is that they've had more, again, backfires. Way more. Indiana Jones was a massive backfire for them.
Oh, yeah. That was one that everyone was claiming was woke. When that was again because, wasn't it, what was it? Phoebe Page Waller worked on it.
The movie and she was actually in it. She was not the worst part of it, but that movie was, I still say it was a mediocre, acceptable ending, but not the greatest.
I believe you. I don't know. That's not my thing, but I have heard really good things about the game.
Oh, yeah. And people complain about punching Nazis. What's wrong with punching Nazis?
It's so funny that you mentioned that because I seen on one of the comic channels that I follow, I don't remember which one, they posted just a panel from Superman vs. the Klan, Louis
Smash of the Klan.
Smash of the Klan. And you had people in there defending the Nazis. I was like,
why? What did they say?
I know I called the Klan that one time, but I'm not going to defend Nazis. Like saying how it was modern day. I'm like, it was literally made from a famous fucking radio show.
And that radio show was actually done. Get this. You want to know interesting fact about that? The guy who gave all the story beats is the guy who actually infiltrated the Klan, who gathered up information.
Yes, it is. Exactly.
Yep.
And that's the funny thing. I'm looking at these people, like these comments, and I'm like,
no one else
I
wanted
know
to share
many
the
of them
information.
could be trolls, right? But you are not a serious person if you're going, wow, this is so modern day. These punching Ku Klux Klan guys. No.
There were people complaining about Wolfenstein going after Nazis and Klan members.
Like, wasn't that always Wolfenstein's thing, though?
Wolfenstein has said in World War II, you killed Mecha Hitler.
But it's current day, apparently. Like, when did it go from killing and punching a Nazi was kind of a universal thing to you're defending the Nazi?
Probably, now to be fair, probably when the woke SJW side just claimed everyone they didn't like was a Nazi. I think that's
they muddied the water for sure.
I think, and I do think that might be some of their actions. People being so sensitive about it because, like, I've been calling Nazi when they're killing them. They're them trying to go after me because they've been calling me a Nazi. Tells me that they sooner kill me.
Oh yeah, wait, you? Like you as in you?
No, not me as in me, and me as in them.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? But
not me. I'm talking about that's what they think.
Gotcha. I was confused there. Yeah, I think just like when this, like we're doing about a 5-year time period. When that 5 years started, we saw
the peak of it all. They were like,
the SJW era where everything was Nazi and racist. And now we're at the other side of that coin where everything is
woke
and I don't know, anti-white, anti-American. I'm trying to think of all the buzzwords I was called yesterday.
Misandrist, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, because women are playing video games, apparently.
Yeah, it's just, again, but lately, like I said, they've got so many blow-ups. I seriously, like, again, Indiana Jones, and so on. Let me look back over the list again. Like, some of the more recent stuff that have been the case of them, they were hyping it up. They were like, oh, it's going to suck.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Mario and Barbie were the two big ones.
Yeah, they were huge. And the thing at the end of the day is what we kind of posed the question in the beginning, right? Has it done any growth for entertainment at all, or has it done more harm?
I think it's done more harm. I think any of the growth they might claim was growth that was going to happen regardless. They might have sped it up a little bit. I will give it that. They might have sped up a little bit. It might have encouraged some studios or whatever to be like, we don't want to deal with this. Roll it back. But for the most part, they would have found out that some of these things were not going to sell well regardless when you look at a lot of these issues. Most of these things are issues that were quality in general.
I think the real harm done is the harm to their audience more than anything.
The brain rot.
The absolute brain rot that we see going around and causing, and the more you feed into that algorithm, the more you'll get suggested it, the more you'll watch it, the more it becomes something that you actually believe. Like we see it in the live chat right now.
Oh yeah, we do.
We see it with stuff like Smash JT and the Ubisoft Insider. We see it with like the email I shared on my community post.
Yeah. Oh God.
Ironically think that I am a feminazi cunt bitch.
That's because you disagree with them.
Degenerate, anti-God, anti-American, all the buzzwords you can think of.
It's sad that
because somebody told them that I was this
monster.
Monster. Yeah, there we go. Exactly.
Yeah. And again,
so I think it's done a lot of harm, and that's to the people. And this is gonna come off mean, but I have to say it. I'll say it once and I won't say it again. I think it's done harm to people that are, oh fuck it. I'm just gonna say it. To stupid people.
Yeah. And I'll say this.
To people that don't think for themselves.
Here's where the issue happens. It's what happens all the time. Left, right, it doesn't matter. NSJW, SJW. You have people who want to do something. They say, we want quality. We want this. And then they are taken over by people who want to push their own products. And they had a big weapon. Look at Comicsgate before EVS joined up. It was about, we want good books. We're going to call out the bad books. Then EVS says, I'm the only one who can give you good books. I'm the only one. And you should buy
that
my...
literally recently, come 5 years later, has a clip that I was sent of EVS saying, women are good for two things. If they're not making babies, they should be naked, selling OnlyFans, or naked for their man. That was the two things women are good for.
1 sec. I want to get something quickly. It says something ironic and hilarious.
Okay, go for it. EVS has really crashed. Yeah, it was like last week I was sent a clip, and I always appreciate a good laugh, right? And he was literally saying if women aren't making babies, then they should be selling nudes or being nude. I mean,
look at
like everybody loves a good
when I got
my
new Common America and
oh my God, that's actually, I mean, good for them. They get some free advertising.
I'll say this. Ripa, my biggest complaint was I didn't think it was going to take off. Now that it has, I'm willing to admit.
Delivering and doing what he said he's going to do. I don't think the quality's there. I think he's a shit writer.
Agreed. But he's getting it out there. But I said having these two big companies, it took how long? But we finally reached a point where it's like, this is what CG tried to be.
Failed, but tried to.
But now they've kind of reached it, but it wasn't in CG. It's out of CG.
Right. And I also obviously have a issue with how Eric July acts, too.
Oh, agreed. No, I'm not, you're not going to hear me argue. You're not going to
Gary said, aren't you CB, by the way? I think he meant CG. No, they just miss me. And they never can let me go because it's been 5 fucking years. And they're still emailing me psychotic dribble. It's
like that
weird.
guy.
Yeah.
Like Travis.
Don't forget, you left me.
And Travis started with He-Man.
Yeah, that's where it all comes
down
to.
That's why this whole thing all started. They decided you didn't. And again, that's the prime example of what we've been talking about. They built up that whole year that you must hate it. That it's gonna suck. It's gonna be shit. And You know, then we watch it. We actually get some enjoyment out of it, and then it's like, no,
You
it's
betrayed us.
betrayal. It's like you didn't toe the line.
Oh my God. All right, what do you got going on your channel this week, Robert?
Not much. Got a couple episodes in the can, as always, having them go through. I'm more trying to figure out how I just got paid recently, but some of my bills lately have been stacking up, so I'm trying to figure out what to do about that. I might have to do some more game streaming and all that.
There you go. Game streaming's always fun.
Yeah,
Always.
Yeah, just
especially when it's Rivals.
Of course. Well, Rivals is going to be good if I have a team with me.
That is true. It is mildly beyond.
It'll be boring if I'm solo. It'll be boring if I'm solo.
You still need to do The Last of Us.
Once 2 comes out.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's my promise. That's my promise. Once 2 comes out, I got to still finish Ace Attorney. I just got to petered out from that.
Yeah.
That's the thing about me with the game streaming. I got to keep my momentum. If I even miss it for one reason, I just go like, should I continue?
I get it. I totally get it. All right, guys, we are going to wrap up. We'll have some fun stuff this weekend, but everybody have a wonderful weekend. Happy fucking birthday, Black Phoenix.
Yep. Happy
Sunday,
birthday.
we've got Colin's birthday. That'll be fun. We will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Take care.